is a different direction for me than my last show.
This has been a very exciting year for Mari's work, for me to see it and for her to be doing it. It has changed dramatically from much more representational work to work that's freer, more open, that still uses flower forms which are relatable to the world outside, but have broken free.
I started doing gardens last summer in the country and became fascinated by the color and the profusion of forms that take place in a garden. So, and when we got back to the city, I thought, gee, now I can't continue this series because there are no gardens. But then I thought, really, those gardens are in my head. Those are imaginary gardens. And there's a poem by Marianne Moore where she speaks of imaginary gardens with real toads. So I wanted to do, this was the first one I did here in the city, and I wanted to do imaginary gardens that felt real. Part of the reason I started doing this is I started feeling trapped by having to show a figure and what was in back of it and what's in front of it in some of the cityscapes. And so I wanted more freedom from those rules of coherence. The dangers of abstraction is that it can become utterly decorative, and so that it doesn't have the reality of using a figurative subject matter. But the beauty of abstraction is that it's freer and more alive. It can be freer and more alive. It always depends on how it's done and who's doing it and the truth of the vision of the person who's doing it. This painting started with something that was more or less growing in the garden here. These red flowers and orange flowers appeared to me like flames. And in this particular painting, I think it has something to do with Tintoretto, the marvelous sweep of the Tintorettos that are in Venice. And for me, at least as they exist in my mind and in my imagination, this is a recreation of something that I got from looking at those Tintorettos so many years ago in Venice. This painting, I think, is very joyful, and it's an attempt to show something about the movement in space of things that are growing, changing, becoming. When I studied painting in the late 1950s, everybody was emulating de Kooning and painting very abstractly. So then I came back to subject matter, and now it seems like I'm going back to something more abstract. And I think that the newer work comes from, in part, from the older work. That is, it's a process of changing within a certain means. And to me, some of the line here, you can see evolving into some of these more abstracted forms. The life of painting is always, in some way or another, about the use of space. So what I would like people to come away with is, first of all, to like the paintings, and second of all, to be involved in the plastic questions that I have tried to answer in terms of painting.
the magic of the marks, the magic of the creation, the magic of making something out of nothing.
I believe that painting is very important to the world. It's, first of all, it's handmade, it's an individual effort, and I think it's terribly important in an age where everything is becoming more and more anonymous, where everything is becoming more and more quick, that people want instant gratification. And when you look at a painting, you really have to look at it closely and spend time, otherwise you don't see anything at all. Poetry, hopefully, the understanding of form, the use of space, all of that is horribly important in an age that, as I say, I think is becoming more and more anonymous.